Welcome to my daily live stream. I'm mayohosko. Thank you so much for watching. I'm building sets from my backlog from the LEGO group who are worth billions and billions of dollars. And until we wait for people to get into the chat, I need to go get the set from the dining table because I cleaned off the build table again. I was doing a whole bunch of cleaning yesterday in my room, so I didn't get around to doing it literally until half an hour ago when I was on the Building and Chatting podcast. Shout out to Skywin and Bounty Hunter. So Alexandria, if anyone comes into the chat before I get back, let them know that I'm just going to go get my set. Okay, I thought the set was in the dining table, but I forgot it's right next to me. Whoa. It's right next to me. I forgot I moved that yesterday. And there's stuff about Bricks and Minifigures to talk about when people get into the chat. So we're on to bag 16 of the Italian Riviera. Me bring all this forward. Okay, and let me put this down. And let's get out bag 16. So now we have Billy and Tammy lying 9474. So let's just wait for more people to get into the chat before we start building bag 16 and talk about the Bricks and Minifigures scandal, because there's been some more lies that's been going on and some new footage that got leaked from the police department. And the links for some of that coverage is in the description if anyone wants to see that content, because there might finally be resolutions to the scandal, and Ben was able to upload his latest video because he had the gag order taken off him, so he was able to upload that. And he made an interesting proposition to Bricks and Minifigures. So I'll get into those further details when there's more people in the chat. But anyway, in 7 days' time, we will be doing the 24-hour live stream. Hey, Silent Mode. In 7 days, we're doing the 24-hour live stream. So everyone that has expressed interest in joining me, let me know what sets you're thinking about building. Because I was on Building and Chatting podcast earlier. Bounty Hunter wants to build some Harry Potter sets. TMC Heather wants to build a DeLorean. I'm building the Tintin rocket, the Horse Knight's castle, and some other stuff. And Tea Time might also be building some Harry Potter, because they finished their live stream 20 minutes ago or something. Still waiting for some people to get back to me via DMs. Some people need to check their dates to see if they can make it. Other people aren't answering their DMs, which is really annoying. Because I like to know if people are in or out. Just rip it off like a band-aid and tell me straight up. And hopefully, even though we may not have enough people in the chat to build Lego on my live stream, I'll be live on Brick Hive's channel afterwards, where I'm going to build a lot of bags, as I've done as I did last week. Want to get the Italian Riviera built before my 24-hour live stream. And if you are new to the mayohosko channel, please smash the subscribe button and smash the like button. For a brief moment earlier today, we got to 1,120. Now it's back down to 1,119. So everyone's going to get hyped for the 24-hour live stream. And those who aren't getting hyped are either too busy or don't give a shit about me. Hey, Hoarder. Are you thinking about doing anything for the 24-hour live stream? Because I haven't asked you if you were able to find some earphones yet, like you said you were going to try to do. Because if you did, we can do some troubleshooting and testing sometime this week if you want. And what do you guys want to talk about today? What do you guys want to talk about today? Because I've still got my mind in the gutter about everything I was cleaning yesterday. I was stacking up a whole bunch of boxes. Sorry, there's traffic outside. And so I took advantage of the verticality in my room and got some of that stuff off of the floor. And that took me about 3 hours to do while I was watching sport and listening to podcasts and listening to live streams yesterday. So I'm very happy with all of my progress from yesterday. Well, now that you've got full custody of Amara, you have to reorient your whole schedule around her. Yeah, I figured if you do end up joining, you'll be working on the B-Wing mock. I've been cleaning like crazy, and so I haven't had time to build mocks. But what I have had time to do is consolidate a whole bunch of spare Lego into different into different areas. So what I need to do now is consolidate all of that consolidation into a big giant box or tub full of stuff that I can then spread out on a table and sort. Because what I'm thinking about doing is doing that in my room like put out a bed sheet in my room to spread out a whole bunch of spare Lego, so I can sort stuff in my room and build mocks at the same time, because I want to build more foliage to put into the city, and I need to put snow on top of the trees. Because it's winter here, and before the stream started, because it's colder than what it was the past 2 days, I had to go put on a jumper. And I'll probably wear this for the rest of the day because the garage is the coldest room in the house. Doesn't help that where I'm standing is concrete. We actually put area rugs in front of my in front of my sitting, so that whenever I'm working in my city, I'm not standing on the concrete. Hey Joseph, we're just talking about stuff until there's more people in the chat to build bag 16 of the Italian Riviera. And also when there's more people, we're going to be talking about going in depth with the latest stuff from the BAM scandal. So what do you guys want to talk about? Because I've still got my mind in the gutter about all of my cleaning jobs. Yeah, there is no insulation. It's the wall. Because now that I was able to fix stuff in my room, now I've got a collection of empty storage. So now I've got to find places to store that empty storage until I need that stuff to store stuff in. And something that I need to do after this live stream, and I'm going to go see the billing on my StreamYard, because I've already used 2 hours and 1 minute of streaming since the 9th. So I'm going to have to go to my alternate StreamYard for next week's live streams so that I can preserve the remaining 16 hours and 59 or 58 minutes after this live stream for the 24-hour live stream, because I always do the 24-hour live streams in 3 parts that are 8 hours long, because YouTube doesn't like people going live for more than 12 hours per stream. Some people deliberately ended their live streams at 11 hours and 55 minutes, but that means that cuts off 10 minutes from 24 hours, which I don't like to do. If I say 24 hours, I'm going to go live for 24 hours, not 23 hours and 50 minutes. Other than having the right parts and the right color at the right time, trying to find space to put stuff when you clean your table has to be second hardest thing to do. Well, it's probably the easiest thing for me to do, because I just have a whole bunch of spare storage that I just put scrap in, and then when that scrap piles up, that's when I spread it all out and sort it. Because the scrap can be stuff that I bought from the pab wall. It can be loose Lego lying around. It can be sets that I've broken up. It could be mocks that fell into disrepair when I was moving stuff. Scrap can happen a lot of ways in my collection. Like, for example, actually, I've got 2 examples. I have this SUV from that Avengers set that had those trees, which I really liked. I need to take this apart. And I also have this combo tennis / soccer court that I'm not sure what to do with. Like right now, that's just scrap to be determined. What I do with it, I don't know yet. You're surrounded. There's been so many groups and lots that you've acquired. Hardly room to move it around. Exactly, because like I had a bunch of pieces on my floor for a while because I spilt drawers one time. And I left that there for like a year, and while I've been cleaning and consolidating, I was like, you know what, I'm going to listen to podcasts and I'm going to get this stuff sorted again. So I sorted a whole bunch of stuff, but there was some leftover random pieces on the floor that didn't really have a home, so that went on to the scrap heap. And I think I've got a few different scrap heaps right now, but this is probably the biggest of the scrap heaps, is in here. It's probably the biggest of the scrap heaps. And there's a scrap heap underneath where I'm keeping this scrap heap. And I've got a whole bunch of different little scrap heaps all over the place. And I've got a Pringles can that I'm using to store the spare pieces in sets that I've been building on my live streams. And I can't remember where I put that. Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Oh yeah, it's here. This is where I'm keeping the spare pieces for stuff that I've been building. So I need to keep this out. I need to keep my Stanley knife out to open box tops. And I've got so many pieces that either I haven't put them into drawers yet, or those drawers are full, or the contents of those pieces are too big for the drawers. So they're stuck in other types, like cups and cans and boxes, because they can't fit in the drawers. And now it's raining outside. Hey, Canding. Yeah, so I think we've got enough of a conversation. We're going to open bag 16. Hoarder says, you get jealous when you see people with their Lego space. You would love to have 10 times the amount of space. See, that's why I'm glad I have half of the garage and my room, and I'm always moving stuff backwards and forwards. Hey, Strickling, I'm enjoying watching your Minecraft videos. Also says, in response, that's how you felt 6 years ago, been spending all your fun money on pad boxes and bricklink orders. I've been spending most of my fun money on pick-a-brick boxes before I bought like 800 Australian dollars worth of sets that went on sale. Because I held off waiting to buy a lot of those sets until they went on sale, and they finally did, because it's the end of financial year in Australia, and that's when I normally get the best deals on Lego. Well, see, that's because you're a set builder, not a mock builder, Alexandria. So you don't go to the pick-a-brick wall to buy pieces. You don't go to Bricklink to order specifics. You don't go to Facebook Marketplace to buy a bulk lot. or on eBay to do the same, because you're a set builder, not a mock builder. Now, I would encourage everyone to get into mock building, because then you'll truly realize the magic in it. Because Hoarder and I can confirm it is a magical thing. If you had separate room for your city, you'd be in good shape. As it stands, city table takes up most of your room. It's harder to get parts in your drawers. See, that's why I didn't go with the standard ideals legs for my tables to support my city. I went with the more expensive olive table legs so that I could customize the height of the tables to specifically fit the height of 2 orange storage drawer units underneath the table, and I store a whole bunch of other stuff underneath the table. So having a build table next to my city table means I can have the city and build mocks and sort stuff all within the space of half of the garage. Hello, little L Bricks. Long time no see. I almost to never see you commenting on my live streams, so it's good to see you back. Exactly, everyone can mock. I agree with that. Because some people believe they can't mock for the same reason people believe that they can't create art. It's not that you can't, it's that you don't want to, or that you don't believe in yourself because you have low self-esteem, or you're not confident in yourself, or there's some kind of psychological thing that you haven't broken through yet. It's like everything else. Practice makes perfect. 100% agreed. Or at least makes you slightly better than you were before. Exactly. Because I've seen people over the last 5 years drastically improve their skill set in building mocks. Because like I'm always rejuvenating and rebuilding my mocks, because what I used to call good, now with my heightened level of skill set, is just okay. And LEGO keeps on making new pieces, so I can use those new pieces to make stuff and look better. That's you got to trust the process. I haven't seen that stuff. You really liked picking through loose Lego at BAM. Haven't been there since because of money and you're running out of space. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. So now that we've got plenty of people in the chat, I'm going to open bag 16. And we're going to talk about some of that stuff while I'm building. We would be building sets on all of my live streams if there was always at least 5 people watching. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Well, that's why you have to build up your confidence, like what Hoarder and I have been saying, Billy. Exactly. There was a natural evolution from set building to mock building. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. There's 5 now, which is why we're building. The problem is there's not always 5 people watching. Because I'm not going to build to build jack shit. Unless there's people in the chat to keep a conversation going. People who always watch my live streams would know that by now. Because I'm not going to waste a bag on building a set if there's nothing else going on. That's just how I roll. Yeah, I've watched some of your live streams before, and I think you can empathize with that. And that's why sometimes I cut my live streams at half an hour when there's not much going on, because I have to be conservative with my hours. So anyway, stuff with the Bricks and Minifigures scandal. So they're talking about how it's nearing the end. And I wrote down some stuff with the videos that Penguin Zero made and more Pegasus made within the past 3 days or whenever, because they covered the different aspects of what they covered. Some different things, like more Pegasus is more clowning upon Eamon's mustache than anything, because that really is one of the most stereotypical bad guy mustaches ever, really, when you really think about it. Like, it's a comically evil mustache. And then Penguin Zero has more spoken to the speculation of what's changed in the market. Like, more Pegasus is a little bit more joking than Penguin Zero, if you've ever watched them. And then a couple of brickheads got Ben back onto their live stream before they were talking about some Pokemon stuff. And Ben said that he will consider apology accepted if Bricks and Minifigures do the chicken dance. Which, now we'll have to stay tuned to see if that happens. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but Ben did tell a couple of brickheads that he will accept that a gesture as a form of an apology, which is a really interesting situation. Like, imagine if that does happen, and all of the memes that could come out of that, to add on to all the memes that have come out of We Steal From Old People and Eamon's mustache. That would add a lot to the meme economy, in my opinion. And some of the lies in all of it is that Bricks and Minifigures have been going around saying that they're trying to make peace with Brian Mansell, but there's contradictory evidence to prove otherwise. So they're still not telling the truth. And there was footage from the police questioning how Ben was making money from his YouTube videos. So clearly they don't understand the economy of social media, which is kind of an egg on their face. And there was footage of them talking about how they were coercing with Bricks and Minifigures, further adding to the allegations of corruption. So the police at this point really aren't hiding whose side they're on with all the evidence that comes out. And something absolutely crazy is that they subpoenaed Google to show some of Ben's records and the metadata by combing through his Gmail. And there were a lot of people who didn't know you could even do that, which is super shading. That's really shading. And have I built this wrong? Oh, that's a 1x3, not a 1x4. Yeah, so that caught a lot of people off guard. So apparently Google can do that, which is super scary, super 1984. Like, not sure if you guys knew that Google could do that. But that sounds like a major red flag for privacy protection laws. And they combed through a lot of Ben's stuff, and they fabricated the lie that Ben sent a death threat, which there's no, which Ben said that there's no evidence of, and the police just believed that. So there's a lot of gullible people in all of this. And so when people were criticizing the police a while back, when they accidentally leaked that redacted footage, people were calling them corrupt. And now that footage got leaked of the phone call they had with Bricks and Minifigures, that only makes them look even more corrupt. And I'm just glad that Ben no longer has that gag order on him, because that means that he can say all of that stuff without repercussion. And now apparently he's working on a part 4, which will be interesting to see if any developments come out of that. And Ben was able to get audio from the police or the State Department or something, now that the case is being handled in the federal courts instead of the state courts in Utah. And so he actually got someone to animate over the audio, which was funny, and he included that in his video. So that's yeah, there's a lot to digest in those videos that I linked in the description if anyone wants to see that information for themselves. Let's see what people are saying. Horde is saying build, then take apart. It's a cycle until you have something to be proud of. See, exactly, because I've come up with prototype after prototype for mocks, and I should have had this camera down here. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, this is what I'm building down here. Yeah. What are other people saying? Hoarder says, you think everyone should start with 8x8 mini mocks. Exactly. An 8x8 to mini mock like a minifigure habitat, or a vignette like this, because this can't be connected to other stuff. So technically it's not a habitat, it's a vignette. This is an 8x8 vignette. I'm going to be taking 8x8 minifigure habitats to brick slopes. Yeah, well, that's because Ben's going to have to handle a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Yes, we're live on a couple of brickheads. That's not, well, if people aren't subscribed to a couple of brickheads, then you're going to miss out on a lot of interactions with Ben. I subscribed to a couple brickheads 4 years ago, and their channel has blown up and made it to the national mainstream media because of their interactions with Ben. Well, a lot of stuff happened in 1984. Privacy gets less and less every single day. I know that you lived there. There's a lot of stories to tell about that. Hope you enjoy your family. Yeah, he's streaming afterwards. He's streaming in 24 minutes, and we're going to redirect over there. I set up the redirect before I started this live stream. Which link are you talking about? Which link? See, I knew of Brent's Bricks before ACOB because he was in Hive's chat. Because I first heard of Hive, I think in December of 2021, and then started watching some of his Hive streams all throughout 2022. And then I see Brent's Bricks in the chat, and then Hive kept on talking about a couple brickheads so much in 2022 that I decided to subscribe to them back then. Yeah, it's in the description of this live stream, as I've been saying. The link to the videos by More Pegasus, Penguin Zero, and a couple of brickheads are in the description. There's been lots of different people covering the scandal, and whenever there's more stuff to talk about, I talk about it on my live streams. Yeah, so little L, if you don't know, I go live at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day, unless stuff gets in my way. And that's a nice way of saying sometimes other people who sometimes my friends are live at that time and I choose not to go live. Sometimes I go live at an earlier time of day. Yes. Well, actually for you, it's not Pacific Standard Time because you're in daylight savings right now. I'm in standard time. You're in daylight time. That's what Americans get wrong all the time. And I know because about 90% of my friends are American, and about 80% of the television I watch is American. Yeah, I'm not American, I'm Australian. And people who have been friends with me forever know that. People who don't interact with me a lot, or have never bothered to do their due diligence don't know that. Is this? Oh yeah, there's 2 1x1s. Yeah, it's 6:40 p.m. for you. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. That's not how time zones work, Hoarder. I'm not in the future. The sun is in a different position. And then the real geniuses out there will tell me when I say that, no, the sun isn't in a different position, the earth is in a different rotation. But for the purpose of that argument, it's just easier for me to say the sun is in a different position. It depends on where your orientation is in the solar system. Is it from the sun or is it from Earth? We do. See, someone made a t-shirt years ago that said the sarcasm is strong with this one. And I want to get my hands on that t-shirt eventually. And I can see when people are joking or being sarcastic. And because I'm an academic, I choose to spit the facts. Don't think I've seen your sarcasm sign on your streams. The next time I watch your stream, maybe you should get that out so I can see it. I think one of my old pajamas said something about sarcasm, but I forget because I don't think I wear that a lot anymore. I've got way too many pajamas because people keep buying them for me when they go on sale. What day and time are you planning to start to 24 hours live? That's a good question, Billy. So for me, it'll start at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. No, sorry, it'll start at 10:30 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. For my friends on the east coast of Australia, that's 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'm starting at 9 a.m. Eastern in North America. Normally I start at 9 p.m. Eastern, but because this is a 24-hour live stream, I'm starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that is 8 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Mountain, and 6 a.m. Pacific. And I know, and that means that I'm starting at 2 p.m. in British summertime, which is 3 p.m. in the European summertime. And I know those time zones like the back of my brain because I talk to people all over the world. Some people have to use internet tools to remember some of that stuff. Some people have time and clock and watch apps to tell them that stuff. I use that stuff so much to the point where all that information eventually got ingrained into my skull a couple years ago. Is that dark orange? Yeah, there's a mix of dark orange and the reddish orange in this set. Particularly on this building right there. It's a mix of the dark orange and the reddish orange. Yeah, so does anyone have any thoughts about what's been going on with the Bricks and Minifigures scandal? Because anytime Ben has uploaded stuff, there's been new information presented that I have been highly interested in. Oops, I built this wrong. Or did I? Yeah. I need to move this over by one stud. And there's a window that goes in between there. LEGO needs to release 11 parts in reddish orange, and then you can switch your prototype from red to reddish orange. It'll be accurate. So, because there's that grey B-wing that has some blue in it. Is that for the resistance or something? I don't know. The only B-wing I can think about was from the B-wing at Rebel Control Center from 2002 or whatever. That's my personal favorite set with the B-wing in it. And didn't they make a UCS B-wing as well? I can't remember all the UCS sets. I forgot they made a UCS A-wing until someone talked about that on the Hive stream this time last week, and completely forgot about that. And Billy says things were looking so good for BAM until they screwed this up. Exactly, it's been a PR nightmare, and they've dragged it all through the courts because because I believe their egos got in their own way. They thought they could sweep everything under the rug, and that completely blew up in their face. And their reputation has been brutalized. Almost no one trusts them anymore unless specific customers have good relationships with specific franchisees, which I've heard polarizing tales of people's interactions with managers over the past 3 years. Some people really like their franchisee. Other people despise their franchisee. Because if you go onto Hauling and Bowling and watch them, they've been criticizing Bricks and Minifigures well before the scandal. Because they've had so many bad experiences at those stores. The prototype was in Star Wars Rebels and canonically came before the grey version. He jokes about doesn't like the paint job in that episode. Okay. So is that kind of like how Poe Dameron has his own paint scheme for his X-Wing? Because isn't he the only one that has an orange and black X-Wing? All the others are in the Resistance or in the Resistance or the Rebellion paint schemes. It was gonna if you were going to put your money for a second-hand LEGO store, you would open your own, so you don't have to worry about anyone else's rules. Exactly. There's a whole lot of, like, when you sign up for a franchise, you get you get the name, image, and likeness of that franchise, but you also get all the contractual obligations for that franchise. And sometimes those contractual obligations get too much for people to handle. Like when a scandal comes up because of all of it. We're building a bed right now. And that's the bed design. It's got the quilt hanging off to one side. You like the one by yours. You never sold them anything. You mostly bought loose pieces only to be disappointed. Well, that's a gamble, I guess. Did I hear Lego's coming out? Yeah, because there's a guy. I have a friend in Europe called Force Bricks. He made a video talking about that George Lucas minifigure, and I'm speculating it's going to be 50th anniversary. May the 4th be with you. And Hoarder, you know more about that Star Wars theater set that they were talking about on a couple of Brickheads yesterday. I wasn't paying much attention. What do you know the specific details of that set? You like your pieces. That's how you found a tipper bucket. See, I want to get my hands on a tipper bucket. I wouldn't worry about the 4x10 chassis or the wheels. I would just use modern pieces and custom build a chassis. Does it have to be purist? See, a lot of people are hyping up the George Lucas minifigure. I'm still waiting. I've been hyped for the Ewok Village since they leaked that name and details back in January. Okay, now we've got to build an area rug. Yeah, what time do you do your live streams on Sunday night? Little L. And also, I'll tell you. Okay, and also I'll tell you. Any Americans who aren't in the Eastern time zone, it really helps to tell people when you're live. Give them the Eastern time. That's where the majority of the eyeballs are. Because I have friends in the Central who always say, so, Central, and then people in the East say, what is that in the Eastern time? And that's because majority of the YouTube audience is in the North American Eastern time. That's why all the national television coverage always give their time in the Eastern time. Not just because it's the most. Well, it's because whatever it comes on will be at the later time. But also that's the majority of the population. which is why I give everything in the Eastern time, because majority of my friends are from the Eastern time. That's how the business works. And that's where I see people in other countries who their largest audience is clearly Americans. Give them tell people they upload whatever in their time zone. That is the most confusing thing ever if majority of your audience is American. That's why I'll never give my upload times in whatever time zone I'm in. Because I would wager 0.1% of my audience is from my state. However, it's proven that like it's proven, according to the last time I checked the YouTube analytics, that 40 to 50% of my audience is American. Which is by far the largest market, and about 90% of my live stream audience is American. So therefore, I tailor my upload times for the American audience. Hey Frankenfrog, hey Skywin, we're just about to end this live stream. We always start at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we talked about the BAM scandal, talked about my progress cleaning up. We talked about a whole bunch of other stuff. We're building the Italian Riviera. I'm going to go to Brick Hive's live stream in 2.5 minutes. So make sure to leave a like on the live stream. Because if people stop doing that and my YouTube numbers start tanking, I'm quitting YouTube. But while that's not the case, I'm still here. Thank you very much, Frog. How was building and chatting, Sky? Okay, that's a wall. I assume that's going to go there. Yeah, that goes there. And then there's some plate layers which go on top. And then there's more plates which go on top here. We won't be able to finish bag 16 probably on this live stream, but you will see me do it next on Brick Hive's live stream, of which I set up the YouTube redirect for. So if you have autoplay enabled, you will be automatically YouTube redirected over there. If you don't have autoplay enabled, you'll see a message at the top of the chat to click on or tap on to go watch me on the Brick Hive channel. Because I do my live streams on Saturday night. Oopsie. Sorry, I forgot to put something in. At 9 p.m. Eastern. He's doing his stuff at 10 p.m. Eastern, which is super convenient for me. And there's a gutter down here, which clips onto there. Oh, you know what? We are going to finish this just barely, just barely. And there's a lamp at the back here. Okay, we're done. So thank you for watching my live stream. It is appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. We're going to go over to the Brick Hive channel right now. So I'll see you on my next live stream tomorrow. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.